Hey guys, Jen here from Millennial Next Door. Thanks so much for stopping by and joining me in this video. We're going to be going over 8 Upwork tips to land a gig for beginners. I'm really thrilled to share this video with you. I have made a steady $5,000 plus monthly with the help of Upwork. I've been on the platform for a couple years now, and throughout the process, I've been steadily trying to increase my knowledge on how to land gigs, what clients are looking for, all that good stuff. And so I have put together this video to share those tips with you so you can start landing Upwork gigs as a freelancer. Okay, so let's dive in. And if you haven't already smashed that like button, I would definitely appreciate it, as well as if you would subscribe to the channel if you love learning about and watching content like this. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome to Upwork. Upwork is a freelancer platform that brings together freelancers and clients to work together on projects. So, clients are typically businesses and business professionals that are looking to have a job filled. They need help with something in their business, and so they're looking to hire a freelance worker to help them with whatever job they need. You can see some of the categories they have here, like web development, design, writing, marketing, accounting. All the categories are right here. I've used Upwork as a client and also as a freelancer, so I have the benefit of kind of knowing both sides to it. As a freelancer, this is a great place to find gigs. So you can work on a project with your client based upon your skills and what the client needs help with, and Upwork will pay you. This is a great source of income, and it's a really awesome way to land freelance gigs. I'm going to get logged in and then I'll show you around a bit. Okay, so this is the back end of my Upwork account as a freelancer. Now, Upwork is free to join, so as you're setting up your profile to join as a freelancer, you're going to be taken through a couple quick steps, one of which you're going to be selecting your categories. So it'll ask you to select categories, and that's really for the purpose of putting together this feed, like you see here for me, with jobs that are kind of tailored to the categories that you're skilled in. So pick the categories that work best for you. Keep in mind you can change this really easily later on. So if you're not sure, do the best that you can to pick the categories that match you. Once you land on this page, it's time to find jobs. You can do that by either going through this feed that Upwork put together for you, or you can go to the search bar like me. Now, I like to use the advanced search feature. Whoops, that is not the place. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's start by typing in a phrase or the kind of job you're looking for. I just typed in Instagram with the hope of trying to find an Instagram related job. So you can see there's almost 2,000 jobs here in the search results. From here, this is when you're going to filter down your results. Filters are really going to help you drill down and pick the perfect kind of jobs based on what you're looking for. So I'll go through this part really quickly. First, experience level. You can pick the one that fits you. The client history, this is how seasoned the client is with the Upwork platform. It tells you if they're brand new, maybe they're kicking tires, or maybe they're going to be a little slow to hire, maybe not, or if they've hired. So you can use this filter as well. How many hours per week they're looking for, the the project budget. This is really good because if you're looking for projects within a certain pay range, you can use this to really filter down the results. And then this is important, the number of proposals. This really tells you about the competition of the gigs that you're reviewing and possibly applying for. So the more proposals submitted, the more competition you have. 20 to 50, for example, means that 20 to 50 people have already submitted their proposal to the client. So this is the competition. I typically go for less than 5 or 5 to 10, though I have landed jobs in all of these ranges before. And then the project length. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple filters here, and then take a look at the updated results. So you can see it went from almost 2,000 to 161. That's really awesome because it's a shorter list to review, so it saves you time and it really gives you the results that you're looking for. So from here, you're just going to search through the different jobs and pick the ones that you think you may be interested in. You can see that it already gives you a summary of the job, so you can read over this as well as some information about the project, like if it's an hourly project, the experience level, estimated time length, how many proposals have been submitted, and then this is about the client. It tells you that they've spent over $300 with Upwork. They're not rated yet, and their payment is verified, which is really good. Now, as far as getting paid with Upwork, the way it works is once the client hires you, ideally they're going to be making an escrow payment with Upwork. So they'll submit their payment to Upwork. Sometimes they do this before they hire, like this client has. And if that's the case, it'll say payment verified. Sometimes they'll make the deposit with Upwork right before the project begins. Either way is totally fine. It is important that they make the milestone payment before you actually start working, because you really don't want to fall into a situation where you do work and they can't pay you or they can't pay you on time. That has happened to me before. So make sure that the payment is deposited before you start working. And you can do that really easily. When a deposit is made, you'll get a notification on Upwork in the messages area that'll tell you that they've they've gone ahead and submitted their escrow. I'll talk more about this a little bit later. But anyway, this is really good. It means that they're serious about hiring. They've already put some skin in the game and they've already deposited some money with Upwork. Okay, so next let's click into the job. So assuming that we've reviewed it and want to apply, this is how you'll do it. Now first, a little bit of information on this page. It just gives you more details about the project. You can learn more about the client, where they're based, their time zone, our average hourly rate they've paid. I look at this so much because nothing is worse than finding a dream job and everything looks great here. However, their average hourly rate is $5 an hour, which is well below my hourly rate and probably well below your hourly rate as well. Now, just because there is a low average hourly rate here doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get, but it does mean that that's kind of what the client's used to. So I look at this big time anytime I look at submitting a proposal. This is also an Upwork Plus client, which means that you can read it right here, they're on a subscription plan with Upwork that gives them access to more hiring features. So this means that this client is serious and that they're real about hiring on Upwork. And they just became a member at the start of this month, so they've been on board for under a month and they're on Upwork Plus. They have hired already, they've spent money with Upwork, so these are all great signs. And then you can take a look at the client's history. So you can kind of see what other jobs they put out just to kind of give you an idea about the kind of business they run and other things that they're looking for help with. Okay, so now it's time to submit a proposal. Now, before you do that, anytime you submit a proposal, it's tied to connects. Connects are Upwork's currency, so it's kind of like coins. So this job requires 6 connects. So you want to make sure you have enough in your balance here to apply. If you do run out, you can buy more, and they're pretty affordable. I usually get the biggest package, which is something like 80 connects for $12. So not bad. You'll click submit a proposal, and this is when you're going to craft your winning proposal or cover letter to your client. Now this is really simple, guys. First, this is going to be what you propose for your hourly rate. If it's based on project rate or a flat fee or milestone payments, this section is going to look a little bit different, but you'll still have the opportunity to adjust the pay rate. Okay, so for your cover letter, it needs to be short and sweet. You don't want it to be super lengthy. It's going to be hard for the client to read. Keep in mind, they're going to be looking at a bunch of these cover letters. So keep it short, sweet, and to the point. You want to introduce yourself, share a little bit about your background, experience, and skills. You don't have to talk at length about these things. Tailor this part to what the client is looking for. So read over their summary really well and tailor your cover letter to that. Okay, next, depending upon the job, if you can submit samples or examples of your past work, that's super helpful because it will show the client how well you do your work. You can submit attachments here if you need to, or you can paste URLs here in the cover letter section so they can look at your portfolio if you have one. If you're a writer, you can submit websites that you've written for. If you're a designer, you can submit websites that you've designed for, etc. This doesn't work for every skill set, but if you can provide samples and examples before the client even asks, that's really great. And then express your interest to work together, encourage the client to contact you. You also want to ask questions in the cover letter. Asking questions is really a golden nugget. It encourages the client to contact you. And once you have that door opened and they reach out to you with questions or actually with answers, you've got your foot in the door. So ask some relevant questions to learn more about their business, ask them about specifics, um, exactly what kind of help do they need, what are their goals, is this a long-term or a short-term project, etc., etc. You want this to be really meaningful and not just questions that you craft generically. So think really hard about this and make sure you put this in your cover letter. And then that's pretty much it. When you're done, you're going to submit your proposal and that's it. So you can rinse and repeat to apply for as many gigs on Upwork as you'd like to, provided you have enough connects on your account. And if you're selected for interview or if you're selected to follow up with by the client, you'll be contacted. They'll send you a message. And so you'll get a notification from Upwork to the email that you signed up with on your account that you have a message waiting for you. So you'll head over here, click messages, and you can talk to the client more. So you can answer their questions if they have any. You can chat with them more about the project. And then if they do decide to hire you, they'll extend an offer to you, which you'll also get an email notification from Upwork about. And that'll come to the messages section, and you can click accept or decline in that offer. And then from there, the project will start. So as far as payment, Upwork pays you. So again, before the project begins, ensure that a deposit has been made by the client to Upwork, and then you can begin work. So you can get paid weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, depending upon what you and the client discuss. Don't be afraid to negotiate exactly what you want here. That's important. And Upwork will pay you. So this is what you'll do. You'll go into your profile and then you'll be able to see your schedule of the work that you've done for each period and when you'll be getting paid. When you have a balance available, you'll be able to see it on your account and then you can request payout. You can actually set for Upwork to pay you automatically every 2 weeks or something like that. I've never done this. I always just do it manually. So when the money is available on your account, you can request a payout and they can pay you via direct deposit or PayPal. And that's pretty much it. So that concludes this video on my best Upwork tips to land a gig for beginners. Let me recap. So I kind of went over everything tutorial style. From the very beginning, the first tip is to use filters. So I'll go over that again just to show you really quickly. The filters will help you find the exact jobs that you're looking for, and that's this section here that we talked about. Okay, and then step number 2, or tip number 2, as I should say, is all about your cover letter here. Okay, so we talked about asking questions, we talked about samples and examples, sharing a bit about yourself in an introduction, going over your skills and experience, your background. Tip number 3 is to always keep an eye on your connects. You want to ensure that you have a high enough balance to cover the proposal required connects for submitting. Tip number 4, fill out your profile. We didn't go over this part yet. This is really easy. Make sure you have a professional photo here. Make sure that you write a nice summary about your skills and what you're looking for. You also want to make sure you have your hourly rate set up, and that's really it. Now here you'll see my earnings on the platform. I did mention before making $5,000 plus per month thanks to Upwork. Now, not all of the jobs I've landed through Upwork have remained on Upwork. What you may find is that some clients may wish to move off the platform, so they may start on Upwork and then afterward decide to move off the platform. And so if they do that, you'll just work with them off of Upwork. So you continue doing your work, getting paid by them through PayPal or Venmo or Square, invoice them, other ways of getting paid. So most of my freelance work has actually been off of the platform, though I have landed clients on Upwork and then decided to move off. So I just want to clarify that. Tip number 5, we haven't talked about this too much, your categories. As you're setting up your account when you first register with Upwork, it's okay to pick the best ones you think work for you. But eventually, you do want to make sure that these categories are tailored to your skill set because your feed here is an excellent place to search for jobs. It can be tedious and time-consuming to always go to the search. Not to mention, you may not be searching for what you're actually looking for. Like, for example, if you work in social media, you may type in social networks like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, but that could still leave a lot of the jobs on the table just because they may not have those keywords in the description or in the summary. So your feed is going to help to close that gap. This is a great place to search for gigs, and to get great gigs that match your background and skills, you want to ensure that your categories are set up the right way. You don't want to have anything here that you can't do. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so tip 6, let's see. If you click on your profile here, you want to make sure that you're online and not invisible. This is helpful. Tip 7, your availability. This tells clients about what your schedule's like, so you want to ensure that this is accurate. You can change that right here. And so for me, I have less than 30 hours. You can also have more than 30 hours. There's a couple different ones. Okay, and then lastly, follow up with clients. Now, you can only do this if they have reached out to you, and they will reach out to you if you ask them questions in your proposal. Not always, but it's a little trick that I've been doing that I get a lot of messages from proposals that I submit for. So what I mean is if they send you a message answering your questions and you chat back and forth and they haven't extended an offer to you yet, you do want to follow up within a couple days just to make sure that you're still on their radar. So keep doing this, and you want the goal to be that they tell you one way or the other if you got the job. And if you didn't get the job, that's totally okay. But it's great if they can communicate that to you. So that's what you kind of have. You want the end result to be, if that makes sense. Okay, well, that wraps up this video, guys. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be alerted when I put out new videos just like this one. If there's anything that you want me to cover, let me know. I have a lot of great topics in the queue, lots of videos that I'm working on, and I'd love to hear your feedback as well. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.